the journey of cancer, origins, impact, and prevention. So can I please invite on the
not stop your life for something that is not your fault. And
real life stories, the journey of cancer, origins, impact, and prevention. So can I please invite on the stage Prakriti, Pandey.
it is an honor to share my story with you guys. As Srishti introduced me, my name is Prakriti Pandey. I came to US back in 2017 in order to pursue my study in mechanical engineering. Little did I know that my life was about to turn in a different yet beautiful story. Back in November 6, 2020, I was pretty weak because of the bruises that I got, fatigues all over my body. But I tried to resist it, just saying it might be something that I bumped into. But 3 days before the November 6th, I got a pretty bad vaginal bleeding. It was just crazy that even if I go for a shower or anything, my bleeding wouldn't stop. So I had to go to the urgent care nearby, where they said they cannot do a lab on there, so they had to transfer me to the medical city Arlington. Whenever I went to Arlington, they said the normal range for platelets is about 150,000 to 400, while mine was at 6,000, which is way too low than compared to the normal range. And my hemoglobin, my WBC, potassium, magnesium, all of my electrolytes and my blood counts were drastically low. So right after 3 days of getting infusions and electrolytes, they transferred me to Medical City Dallas in an ambulance saying nothing. So on starting November 9 that I got into Medical City Dallas, I had a bone marrow biopsy that doctors thought, because even after getting a platelets, blood, and everything, my numbers kept going low. And if I wasn't able to make numbers on any of it, especially the WBC as well, they thought it might be a cancer-related, like leukemia. And on November 16, after not finding anything through the biopsy, they did a blood test where I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, aka blood bone marrow cancer. But before going further, I want to ask you guys, do you take a stress whenever something bad happens to you and ask why? How many of y'all take stress? A lot of you, right? Okay. So does taking the stress cure your whatever you're going through? Like, let's say if you have a headache. If you take a stress, does it go away or it causes more headache? Right. So whenever my doctor said that I had a cancer, but this is the regimen that we're going to do. Here is your chemo cycle, almost 6 cycles, and around like 45 bags of chemo, radiation, and transplant. But during that time, since you all said you will get stressed, it was kind of opposite to me. Because I had the regimen that my doctor showed, and it clearly said I'm going to get cured within 1 year. So what's their point to even like disappoint or anything? Because I know I'm going to get cured. So with that hope, I was like, okay, it's okay, because my body was already going to go through a lot of stress and everything. Is it worth it to take a physical stress, a mental stress on top of physical stress? It's a no, because I don't think it will heal my cancer just taking stress. Or if it would have, oh my God, I will just take stress all the time, because that will heal any of the disease, right? So it was going well. I was getting chemo, radiation, transplant. It was all done within that time of 1 year. And what's going to happen with the blood cancer is that even after getting a treatment and everything, there is always a risk of GVHD. That's a graft versus host disease that you'll get. And after getting that, it was never the stoppable journey because there were always something going on and off and on and off every single time. Either it's like a simple thing, but even though it's a simple thing, other guys, but for oncology, it's a drastically, it's severe because even if you get a fever, you gotta go to hospital. If you get a headache, you gotta go to hospital, and for everything. But it is not okay to stop your life right there because you have a lot of way to go, and something, I wouldn't say a minor, but I wouldn't say that major as well, because at first I did ask why me, but at the same time, whenever I went to the hospital, I wasn't the special one because there are so many other patients that were going through the same thing, and they were older, younger, like everything. And I honestly was kind of privileged to go through everything because I was in state where the healthcare system is very, very good comparing with what we come from Nepal. And also here, like, it's not, as an international student, and as he talked about that the societies and everything, as an international student, it's a whole different story. You'll not get most of the benefits and charity from the association because you have to go through. But at the same time, I did not let my life stop. I went to college, and even within like 3 periods in between the chemos and going journey, I had COVID 4 times. Even though I was kind of like, I isolated myself, I changed the school to online and everything, and I was mostly at this hospital for all over. But at the same time, that was the last thing my doctor said, to do not get COVID. But of course, even after trying my best, I still had it. But so it was going through, everything was fine. I was still continuing my school, and all you need is like a hope to wake up every single day. And for me, my school was that. Because I didn't want to stop my school just thinking that, oh, I have a cancer. No, it's nothing compared to the people up here. There are so many people that has a lot more than cancer, and it's not really an awareness. But for me, I had a family that was taking care of me. I had the friends and everyone who supported me on and off. My doctors, my nurses, radiologists, housekeepers. And on top of that, even my people who got me food and everything, like at hospital, everybody were with me and supporting me. So was there a point even for me to think about it? So I graduated while going on my first phase of cancer, but right after 8 months, after getting my first transplant, I had a relapse. So the relapse was basically, it was not the very much symptoms to think about. One night, all of a sudden, I got fever, even though I was getting my bone marrow biopsy every other week and then getting treatment, but then it was not showing I had a cancer until late April 2021 again. Not actually 2021, 2022, because I had a first transplant in my June 2021. So I had a relapse, and my doctor said I have to go through everything that I just suffered from one more time. But in my mind, again, it was like, okay, it's just like another journey. That's okay, because I mean, I can do it. If I did it first time, I'm a fighter. I still can do it. So after 8 months, I still went through all the things that I did before: chemo, radiation, transplant, and on my second transplant. I'm not going to say that it didn't change my life, but at the same time, I want to say that it changed my life in a healthier way. Because before, maybe I used to eat junk. Before, I used to maybe eat the things I wasn't supposed to, but my health-wise, it got changed to pretty drastically, beautifully way. And also, it's kind of like very weird to say that whenever you go through something and then you see people around, right? So it's so fun and seeing you, like, because if it wasn't for the cancer, then I wouldn't have like meet you guys and meet other people that have been around with me. And after that, it was just like, being on social media to raise awareness about what is this instead of being sad all the time and be in the room. There were so many people that reached out to me because they were going through the same thing. And even in the US, like there's so many Nepalis as well that have been through the cancer, but they never let it out because they are still like scared, and it is some kind of scary things to go through. But here, Diksha is one of them we met through the cancer thing. Like we have the one thing in common, and it's a cancer. Also, it's like whenever you think of yourself as a sunshine, and just say that any of the disease that you get in between is a rain. So if you are sad or just like drowned just because of something that happened to you, it's like rain adding to the rain, and it's just a storm. But then if you know you're a sunshine, and if there is a rain in between, there's going to be a beautiful rainbow. So you know a good thing's about to come. You know you're going through it, and then you know that you will overcome it. So what's the point of distressing yourself on something that is not in your hand? Because all you can do is control on diet and everything, but the rest of it is on doctor's hand, nurse's hand, and of course, like you'll take a huge part, but at the same time, the last thing you want to take is a mental stress, because you are already going through a physical stress so much, you don't want to repeat that. Be a volunteer in a bone marrow transplant as a donor. Because whenever I shared that to my social media at first, most of the people thought that a stem cell transfer is something that you have to, do a surgery and then give a part of you. It's not like that. You'll get just like 5 minutes of pain of something, because all they do is have a central line, and all they do is take out your stem cell through just like you infuse the blood. But they will give your blood back to you and just keep the stem cell. And it is totally involuntary, so whenever you want to say no in the future, definitely you can do that. But I do suggest you to register as soon as possible, because all for the registration you can do is like swab your spit, that's it. Just like how you did your COVID swab. That way, I've heard from my doctors saying that there are so little Asians that are doing a registry. And because of that, fellow Asians are not being able to get a transplant sooner than the citizen up here, because they have no idea what you go through. And it's like, first, obviously, whenever it comes to transplant, they will see for the immediate family, like your sister, your twins, or your parents. But after that, it comes to a community. So if we as a Nepali fella are not helping each other to raise that awareness and not registering, it is very difficult to get a transplant for a fellow. Because for a second time, my allo transplant was from somebody else. I don't know who is that yet, but I was lucky to have a donor. Do not stop your life for something that is not your fault, and continue to grow. Thank you.
The journey of cancer, origins, impact, and prevention. So can I please invite on the
not stop your life for something that is not your fault, and